As some of you may know already, Jason from Big Bear Homestead and I have challenged each other to a weight loss challenge, I guess. This happened a couple of weeks ago. Jason contacted me and said he had the idea, and he said, hey, why don't we challenge each other to weight loss? He said, you know, we can both benefit from it, and I certainly agreed with that. So we actually both started a week or so ago, and I've been feeling the benefits already. It's pretty nice to have the accountability system in place. So to give you a little bit of a story about where I came from and how I became someone who struggles with their weight. When I was very young, I really didn't have the struggle. I was a pretty fit kid who would love to play outside. I had a jungle gym as a kid. I remember just loving to be outdoors and active and just enjoyed being a kid. I'd have to say my struggle really started probably when I hit about the 5th or 6th grade in school. I must have been 11, 12 years old maybe. That's when, you know, kids can be just ruthless to each other. And growing up in a household that included some domestic violence, what the kids would say really started getting to me, and it affected me. And I think I would just eat my feelings. And I started putting on weight. And by the time I graduated high school, I don't know my exact weight, but I would guess probably 280 to 300 pounds. I was a heavy guy. After graduation, I started hanging out with friends, really getting active again, but in doing different stuff. I remember we played a lot of football. We would throw frisbees, which I still love frisbee. I love to play frisbee. We would ride bikes to a lot of places because we were pretty poor, and we lived out in the country. But like we would jump on our bicycles and just ride for miles, and we would go meet up with other friends who also had bicycles, and we'd take off. And so around that time when I was 18, 19 years old, I started really trimming, and I had gotten pretty thin. I say pretty thin, around 200, because I'm right at 6 foot tall, around 200 pounds, and I look like thin. Any thinner than that and I look sickly, and we're gonna get to that. But this was about 1994, 1995, and I actually decided that I wanted to go in and serve in the Navy because a couple of my friends had also signed up. So that was a good motivation for me to trim and to get healthy and lose weight. And I had actually gotten down to 195 pounds then. Well, long story short, the Navy didn't accept me, and it wasn't due to that. It was due to some other stuff. And I got discouraged, and that's when I met Cheyenne's mom, my first wife. And, just life changed. Started not paying attention, and next thing you know, I'm packing on weight again. Well, in 1996, I ended up having a life-saving surgery because I was very sick. And during that time in the hospital, I had gotten down to 181 pounds, and I looked very sickly. I don't have any pictures of that. I apologize. But I looked very, very underweight and sick because I was sick. So after that, 98 comes around, 1998, Cheyenne's born, and just, again, still not really paying attention to weight and just kind of, and I don't have numbers for how heavy I got, because who weighs themselves to see how heavy they are, you know? I don't know, maybe I should, maybe you do, if you struggle like I do, but I think some of the issue is when I am heavy, I ignore it. but I'm going to get to that too. So 1998 comes around, Cheyenne's born, and I'm still heavy and not paying attention. And then in 2000, me and Cheyenne's mom, unfortunately, ended up separating. And for an entire summer, I was wild and untamed again, I guess. And I was living a party lifestyle, I guess, and not really being responsible. But the one good thing that did come out of that is I got down to about 220 pounds again. So I was fairly fit, but at what cost, right? So anyway, later in 2000, I met Amy, and we settled down. I, got responsible again, and I stopped watching my weight again for about 7 years. And then in 2007, in the fall, Amy and I got really inspired by the TV show The Biggest Loser. So we started doing things, changing lifestyles, exercising, eating less, different stuff like that. And I ended up back down to about 230 pounds, which was really a good weight for me then. And then I stopped smoking cigarettes, which that in itself is a good thing. But when I've noticed that about myself, which I've quit smoking a few times, and every time I don't fix whatever is the problem here. So to try to take the place of the cigarettes, I guess I put food in my mouth. And in 2008, I went from 230 pounds to 265 pounds in about 2 weeks after quitting smoking. So that was not good. Not good at all. Now at the time I had a very active, demanding job. I was a flooring installer. I worked for myself, and I also worked for a very good friend of mine. So I had a lot of muscle. I had muscle, but I was very heavy too. I was carrying around all this weight. And then in 2009, at about 250 pounds, I went through the fire academy for Lake Charles Fire Department. I got hired. I had to do an abilities or agilities course, which was very, very physically demanding, almost like a physical evaluation, I guess, to see what I could do. And somehow, I guess it was sheer determination, I managed to pass the agilities course at 250 pounds. And I did it, the limit was 7 minutes. I did it in about 6.5. So I was very excited, got to start the fire academy. And although I got very, very fit in the fire academy as far as what I could accomplish, what I could perform, I still had this extra weight. And maybe I always will, but I could do stuff. I could climb ropes. I could just do so much more, and I felt so much better. And then once the academy was over with, kind of got complacent and relaxed again, and I started putting on a little more weight and just kind of not really focusing on it. So it happens slowly. It just comes on. It builds up, and little by little, and next thing you know, I'm a fat guy again. So I'm so glad that Jason has created this challenge, has challenged me to do better for myself. It's just the people who already know about the challenge that are in my life are so supportive already. My coworkers, my family. It's just amazing the support When you admit you have a problem and you're determined to fix it, it's incredible. The people who step up and say, I'm here to help you, and actually do. So, about a week ago, I stepped on the scale for the first time in I don't know how long, and I got my starting weight. Roughly 260 pounds. Really not happy with that. I know I could do so much better. So here's the things that I've started doing. I started to eat more fresh from the garden, which is pretty convenient because we have a garden and it's springtime and it's easy to just go outside and grab something to eat. It's great. I'm lowering my portion sizes. When I do have a meal, especially if Abby cooks it, because Abby is just right there on board. She has already started looking up healthier recipes. She's counting calories. She is amazing. And it's helping her with real life skills at the same time. It's like an addition to homeschool. It's real life applications of math. It's great. I've been drinking plenty of water, especially here in the summertime in Southwest Louisiana. Summers are hot, very hot, and it's important to stay hydrated. And I've been starting to do a little more around the firehouse instead of just doing as much sitting as I was on my computer or whatever. I'm trying to get up and move, and just even if it's just walking around the back parking lot, I'm monitoring that because I have an app on my phone that tells me, and I keep track of my steps throughout the day. And my goal right now, here in the beginning, is 10,000 steps a day. So this challenge won't be without its obstacles. With the virus restrictions that are happening right now, it's not so easy just to go and walk at a park or, just go out and ride a bicycle, which actually right now I don't have a bicycle anyway. I wish I did because I love biking. I love biking. The availability of meat right now in the grocery stores is going to be a struggle. Lean meat, we may have to actually just kind of get what we can get. Now we do raise some meat. We have our rabbits and we have we're going to be raising chickens and pigs. Oh, let me say that again. We're going to have access to pork, to pigs. We're going to be raising our own chickens for slaughter. But we do have rabbits. They are very lean meat. However, because of the heat in the summer here in Louisiana, we give them a break and we don't breed them in the summer. So we're not going to have so much access to that lean meat that comes from rabbits. One of the main challenges I'm going to face is this umbilical hernia that I recently found, which has been deemed a non-essential surgery at this point. It's minor, it really is, but I have to be careful and I have to kind of work around. It is an injury and I have to work around it to strengthen my body. I have to be careful not to make it worse. I do have tons of advantages. Like I said, I've got the accountability system and I've got the support of friends and family. And also at work, at the firehouse, I do have a gym that I can go and work out in. I do have access to, like I said, the back parking lot where I can just go walk daily. There are opportunities for me to do some strength training, some cardio. It's going to be nice. I have that right at my fingertips. So with all that being said, it's time for today's weight. So I step on the scale. I'm kind of nervous, honestly. I don't know if I've been doing enough, and I haven't been on the scale since I weighed myself right at 260, 259.8. So I'm a little nervous, and we're going to see what we get. 256.6. That is exciting. That's a little over 3 pounds lost. That is such a motivation. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what the scale says next week. I'm looking forward to Jason's video for this week. He's supposed to put one out today too, and that's Big Bear Homestead. I'll put the link down in the description. And be sure and follow both of us here on our YouTube channels as we give weekly updates. And we've also created a Facebook group. And if you want motivation, or if you want to motivate us, you're more than welcome to join that group. I'll put that link in the description down below as well. We'll see you next week.